Hi FlossTube, it's Lorna the Ladybird Stitcher. Today is January 17th, it's a Wednesday, and I'm here with my mid-month update. Firstly, a life update, a bit of a life update. My husband went to Adelaide for just a little over a week for work, and my daughter and I decided to join him on the Friday. So we flew down on the Friday and stayed there until he came back on the Tuesday. And we visited Barossa Valley, which is a beautiful winery area. We visited a German town there, which is called Harndorf. Beautiful town. I want to go back there for the Christmas markets that they've got at Christmas time. And we went to the beach. It was really hot one day, but we skipped Sydney's hottest day ever, which was 47.3 degrees. So I was very happy about skipping that. I don't like the heat. I did hear about America having extreme cold in some areas, and it kind of blew my mind that their temperatures were minus 45, I think, which is approximately the same in degrees and Fahrenheit, which means that we were like 90 degrees apart on one day, which is just completely amazing and also very a little bit worrying, I guess. But yeah, I hope everyone's okay in those areas. That's a lot of snow that you got there. We also, my friend went on a cruise and asked if I could look after her kitten for a few days, and we've had a cat before. We had an older cat. He was about 12 when my daughter Heidi came along, and he was very slow, very old by then. He's still around, but he's still living at the flats. We left him with a neighbour who's now looking after him. He was just too old to be moved at the time when we moved over here. The cats are very territorial, and moving him at that age we thought would be really bad for his health, but he's doing really well still. He's about 15, I think, by now, so yeah, he's still going but doing really well. Anyway, this kitten came along, and my daughter was fine with our old cat, but when the kitten came along she was terrified. I don't know why. Maybe because it moved so much faster than our old cat did, and so I didn't think it was fair for her to kind of be terrified of, you know, moving around in her own house. So our mutual friend, so my friend who's gone on the cruise and my friend, we've got a mutual friend, and she has 3 kids, and they were all really excited to look after a kitten. So I contacted her and we took the kitten around there on Monday, I think, this week. But while the kitten was here, which is about 4 days, I didn't get any stitching done at all. She was, the kitten was very skittish. I've never looked after a kitten before. When I got my cat, he was already an adult, so I didn't really know what to expect. I did know it would be a lot of work, but I didn't realize quite how much playtime she would need and how much attention she would need. So yeah, I just kind of had to make sure that she and my daughter were separated, because I think she was a little bit terrified of my daughter and my daughter was terrified of her. So and I didn't want my stitching to be chewed because she was chewing everything in sight, and things like that. So anyway, my stitching took a hit over those few days, but it's fine. We're back to normal now. So I only worked on 3 whips over the last couple of weeks since I last saw you. And the first one was Villa Mirabilia, which will look like this when it's finished. And this is out of print now, but I am so happy to have started. I'm really looking forward to getting down to the colours. But this is what it would look like when you last saw it. And here it is now. So it's just the arch at this stage and a little bit of greenery here. Now, when I was going through, sorry, I'll just put this back. that's the widest, whoops, sorry, everything's falling. That's the widest frame I have her on for that lap stand, and it is quite heavy, so I just put that back there. I did receive a question from Rachel. Hi Rachel, if you're watching, and she asked whether that would be appropriate as a table stand. I'll just show you what I mean, Rachel. I did reply to Rachel when she asked me, and I said that it probably wouldn't, because when you go to do the back of the work, so you pull it up like that, it actually wants to topple. I'm holding it from the base, but the idea is that you sit on it on here, and your legs are a weight to keep it stable. But when you tip it over to go to the back of your work, it will topple if you have nothing sitting on the legs on the base. So as a table stand, I don't think it'll work, because you'll constantly be trying to keep it upright. But as a lap stand, it works really well. Unfortunately, I don't have any wider bars. I would like to get wider bars, but I couldn't really find any when they were still in business, and now they're no longer in business. That's the other reason I wouldn't recommend it anymore. They have gone out of business now, and you wouldn't be able to find any parts for it. Well, you might be able to, but they're not making any more as far as I know. Anyway, so that's Villa Mirabilia. Now, when I went over my plans video, my 2017 review, I was going through my plans for all the projects I have going and the ones that I'm planning to start. And I didn't mention what my plans for this one would be. And I'm hoping to at least finish the arch up to there and the urn. And I would like to get her head and face done. So up to about there, which would be, I guess it's about halfway, but obviously there's a lot more stitching on the bottom half than there is at the top. I always start my stitching at the top because I don't like working up. I prefer working down. So yeah, where possible, I will start at the top. And I think I'm gonna really enjoy her because the colors are beautiful. I really love those colors. So that's Villa Mirabilia. I had a new start, and this is by Brittany of Ingleside Imaginarium. Hi Brittany, if you're watching. Brittany has her own channel, and I will link it below if you're not already watching it. Please go over there. She has some great, she's very, very creative, and she has some lovely whips, and she also does other crafts, and she's really good. So have a look at her channel. But she is also a designer of cross-stitch charts, and she had a sale last year. It was a dragon sale. I'm not really into dragons, so I didn't participate in that, but this year's one is Guardians of Notre Dame, which is the rose window of Notre Dame, and she's putting chimeras in each of the 12 windows. So this is what I mean. So this is the chimera for January, and he still needs a bit more back stitching, but all the stitching's done. And then this is half of the rose window that will appear. So every section is going to have one of these guys or a similar guy. That's my understanding. I'm really hoping that the next section will be in one of these 6 rather than at the bottom, because I don't think I'll get to the bottom by the end of the month. But yeah, this is a lot of fun actually. I didn't think I would enjoy this so much because this is all one colour, and I'm not really the type of person who enjoys stitching with the same colour all the time, but I really enjoyed this. And that's another colour for the border, and that will be, I still need to fill in quite a bit of that. And this one was about 3 or 4 colours, I think. So not too many colours in there, and then the back stitching's in black. But it does make for a really good travel project because there's so few colours. And I took it with me to Adelaide, and I managed to stitch all of this little guy up as well as a lot of the border. So really enjoying that. This is on 28 count Jobelin in tan. The suggestion was that you put this on a fabric that you'd like to represent the night sky, so that through the window you'd be able to see the night sky. But I didn't have any in my stash that would allow these colours to stand out. I then was going to go on a grey, and then this colour would have blended in. And then I had a lilac, and then this colour would have blended in. So I thought I didn't want to wait for more fabric, because I had already waited to get the colours I needed for this guy, and for the border. Not for this guy, sorry, for the border. You needed 3 skeins of a DMC colour and 3 skeins of a overdyed fibre. I can't remember which. It's not a Gast, it's not a Weeks Dye Works, it's something else. But anyway, so yeah, I was waiting for those to come in before I started it, and I didn't want to wait any longer to get new fabric. So I decided that I was started on this fabric, and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, that is a lot of fun. And I will link her channel and her Etsy store below if you're interested in that one. Villa Mirabilia is being stitched on 28 count Lugana Opal, and it's in the colourway Oasis by Colour Cascade Fabrics. The next whip I worked on was Stockings Faithful Friends by Hade, and it will look like this when it's finished. And here is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And here it is now. And I am working on this one for the By the Numbers sale in the Full Coverage Fanatics group on Facebook, which I will also link below. It is not one of my favourite whips, but it's okay. I like the confetti, but yeah, I'm hoping for that challenge, well, for the challenge you're supposed to do 1200 stitches a month. So I think for me, because this is a stocking, this column will continue to decrease as we get closer to the bottom, and so I've worked out that I needed to do sort of the first 2 columns as well as a little square up here, and then I thought I may as well just continue down the column. So I'm gonna try and work on the first 3 columns by the end of the month, and my goal for this one was to finish these 2 pages for the year, and I think with 1200 stitches a month I think that's easily done. So that's what I've been working on as well, trying to get that. So that's it for my whips. I will go through whoops, sorry. Last time I mentioned that I wanted to start Strawberry Fields Forever, but the only fabric that it would fit on, or that was appropriate, was white, and I didn't want it to be white, and so I dyed some fabric using chamomile tea. I wanted a yellow tinge on it. I put 5 chamomile tea bags in some water, in boiling water, and let them brew for a little while, and then took the tea bags out and then put my white fabric in. And I pulled it out probably about 3 hours later, and it was still white. So I thought this wasn't working very well, but I decided I would leave it overnight, and when I pulled it out and rinsed it off, it stayed yellow. So excuse all the wrinkles, but it's completely yellow. There is, I don't know if you can see that, you'll have to trust me, I think, but it's no longer white, so that's a plus. It has gone all yellow, and I'm really happy with it. So I will be starting that hopefully next month, and I'll talk a little bit about that in my plans. I received in the mail, I had ordered Siren and the Shipwreck by Mirabilia. It's another mermaid. I'm starting to really like the mermaids, so I got her. I saw her stitched up on a Facebook group, and I can't remember who stitched her, but she looked amazing. So yeah, she looks a lot better in real life than she does there, as usual with Mirabilia patterns. And then I got my November fabric of the month from Colour Cascade Fabrics, She was on holidays, so this one took a lot longer than usual, but I still haven't received December and January, but that's okay. I'm not going to use them right away. But this is called Rocket Queen. So it's beautiful fabric. I don't know what I'm going to put on it yet because it is quite intense. It's a very bright orange. I had actually thought maybe I would get a shade that is only black. There is that ladybird one. I'll insert a picture here. I don't actually have that one yet, but I think that would be perfect on this one. So we will see. I certainly don't need any more shades on the go right now. So that's the fabric of the month. And then I also ordered a 100-gram cone of white. Just about every pattern I have at the moment needs about 3 skeins of white DMC. And so I thought, and I hate stitching with white, but that's beside the point. Most of the patterns I'm choosing tend to have white in them. So I thought, well, rather than keep buying new skeins for all of them, I will just get a cone and see how that goes. And it looks like it does have, I can't remember how many skeins worth, but it's 425 meters long, which is quite long, almost half a kilometer. So that's a lot of thread, and they are 6 strands, still 6 stranded. I can tell from, I haven't opened it yet, but I can tell there's 6 strands on each like little length. So yeah, that's going to be helpful. So that's all I received. Now for plans, I want to finish the 1200 stitches, well, the 3 columns on my stocking, Faithful Friends. I would also like to pull out this Summer Queen, which I am doing as a sale with Belinda from Aussie Stitcher. Hi Belinda. But this is Summer Queen, and I would like to spend a bit more time on her. I'll show you what she looks like at the moment. So really enjoying her. She's stunning. I was a bit worried about putting her on this fabric because it is a very dark pink, but she's looking really good, I think. That skin's 2/2. I didn't want to go the 1/1 route on these queens. I haven't ever done 1/1 skin unless it's been charted that way, so I didn't want to try it when I'd have so much skin to do. So yeah, I'm really happy with her, the way she's turning out, and I would like to spend a bit more time on her this month and next month. So that's another one of my plans. And then the Jane Austen Reading and Stitch Along is on at the moment, and I had pulled out this one as my whip for that one, and I would like to get back to her. I don't have much on her yet. That's what she's, sorry, I've got plastic behind her. Put that up, will that be too distracting? Maybe. Anyway, you get the idea. That's the hair and the face there. So it's on perforated paper, which is why it's so see-through. But yeah, I'd like to continue working on her as well. And that's part of the sale. So I'd like to get a little bit of her in each month if I don't finish her earlier in the year. And this one is Jane Austen at the Christmas Ball by Books Publishing. That's probably a better picture over there. So that's my plans. I don't think I'll get to anything else, but you will see. Now for February, I have a Mirabilia retreat. I'm really excited. It's less than 4 weeks to go, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm going there with my friend Robin. I've also had quite a few people contact me that they're going to be there as well, and I know that a lot of other floss tubers who are on the east coast of Australia will be there as well, so I'm really excited to meet those people that I've only ever seen on my TV screen. So really happy about that. The Winter Olympics Challenge will start on the same day that the retreat starts. Now, I'm kind of sort of planning that one. I will be doing that challenge, and I've been planning what projects I'll be working on, but I will tell you about that hopefully at the end of this month, what I'll be working on. So the Friday, which is when it starts, I won't get to the retreat until probably around 8 or 9 o'clock. So I'll have the rest of the day to work on whatever I feel like that is more appropriate. But the Saturday and the Sunday, I'm going to need to work on Mirabilias because it is a Mirabilia retreat. Nora Corbett's going to be there, so that's really awesome. So yeah, I'm going to have to try and fit Mirabilia into those categories, which is, the first one is winter themed. That's the Saturday, and then the Sunday is South Korea, so something South Korean themed, which you can use red, blue, white or black for the Korean flag. So yeah, I'll have to work out which Mirabilia will suit those themes and take those with me. Sorry about that. Now for books, I finished The Golden House by Salman Rushdie, and that was a recommendation by Laura at Messy Situation. Hi Laura, if you're watching. I really enjoyed that book. Thank you for recommending that. Laura was lucky enough to meet Salman Rushdie when he visited her university, and she really liked the book, so I decided to get it from my library, and I really enjoyed it. I don't have it with me because it's at the library, but yeah, that I highly recommend it, so if you're interested in that. I'm also reading Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, which is the book that we're reading in the Jane Austen Reading and Stitch Along the Jane Austen Reading and Stitch Along Facebook group, which I will link below. And I'm also reading Home Fire by Kamila, Shamsie. In Australia we have two channels that are kind of not commercial. One of them's the ABC, and we used to have a show on there called The Book Club, and it unfortunately stopped at the beginning of this year, I think. No, the end of last year. It finished. They're no longer producing it. But one of the recommendations in the last episode was this one. I'm not really sure what it's about as yet, other than about a Muslim family who live in London, and I think their brother has gotten into some trouble, and their father was a jihadi. So I'm not sure what to expect. It is a very topical, I guess, book for the moment, but it was highly recommended. Everyone on the panel of that book club show, normally they all disagree, some of them like it, some of them don't, but for this one everyone liked it, so I'm really excited to be reading that one as well. So Home Fire by Kamila, Shamsie. And that is it. So yeah, that's my plans for the remainder of January and for a little bit of February, but I will hopefully be back by the end of January, and I will see you then. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and happy stitching. Bye everyone.